Hello and welcome back to this series on anxiety and assertiveness. In the last video, we looked at how lack of assertiveness can increase your overall levels of anxiety, and I explained why that might happen. So what I'd like to do in the next few videos is to look at how you can increase your levels of assertiveness to help reduce your levels of anxiety. Now, in this particular video, I'm going to run through a model that we use called the mindset model, which will help you to become more assertive. Now, there are many reasons why we're not assertive, and we will be looking at those in this model to help you determine why it is you're not assertive. You may be incredibly assertive in some areas of your life, and in other areas you just can't get there for some reason, and you just become passive or passive aggressive. So we'll be looking at the 7 stages one by one, and I'll be giving you some exercises to do so you can start to increase your assertiveness. But in this video, I'm just going to give you a quick whiz through of the 7 steps so you kind of know what's coming in the next few videos. So the mindset model will actually help you. It's a systematic way of helping you to increase your levels of assertiveness. So the first stage is to map out what you want. Now you wonder, why would I have to do that? Shouldn't I just work on actually speaking more assertively? But no, if you don't know what it is you want to be assertive about, it's very difficult to start to change. It's like we need a roadmap of where we want to go. So the most important thing is we know what it is we want to change, what we want to be more assertive about, and quite often it's those things that we want to say no to, but we just keep saying yes, and then we get ourselves into a bit of a pickle because we're either overextending ourselves or we start to feel resentful. So the first stage in the model is map out what you want, and I will be giving you some exercises to help you determine what it is you want, and then we'll rank them in order of how anxious they make you feel. But don't worry, we're not going to start with the one that makes you actually want to sit in a cupboard with the door locked. No, we will give them a ranking so that we'll start with something that you can just about manage, and then we build up so it starts to build your confidence that you are actually able to do this. But we're not going to expect you to do it straight away, because we've got other things in the model which are going to help you to build that confidence to become more assertive. The second stage is initiate an assertive statement. That's the I in the mindset model. So it's all very well knowing what it is you want to be assertive about, but then you actually have to think about, how am I going to say this to someone? And we'll give you some exercises to do here to make your assertive statement clear, concise, using positive language, so that you're able to craft this. And we'll give you some pointers and tips on how to best go about doing this so that you can actually craft a very simple assertive statement which you can then memorize. So it's important that you're able to retain, this assertive message in your mind, because the third stage of our assertive model is navigate, role play and preparation, because we need to prepare. So we know what it is we want to be assertive about. We've crafted our little assertive statement that we're going to say, because this is the thing that we want to deliver. And remember, it's a win-win situation. We're not trying to bulldoze through anybody. We're not trying to put anybody down. We want to take people with us, and we want to listen to the other person as well. But we need to navigate, role play and prepare, because if we write the assertive statement out, that's just where it stays on the paper. We haven't actually engaged with it, because when you think about actors and actresses, what they do when they're playing a role is they rehearse. They practice in front of the mirror, practice it with somebody reading lines with them. And they start to craft this, they start to kind of get into the feeling of it. But role play is absolutely critical. And we would suggest you find a really close friend or a family member who you feel you can expose yourself a bit, because sometimes it does take a little bit of time to actually feel comfortable doing this, because of course we're going to be self-conscious, which is going to make us feel anxious. But the more we do it, the better we get at it. So the D is we're going to determine strategies of compromise, because this is really critical. We are going to make an assertive statement about something we want to change or something we want to say no to, but it may be that the other person has a really good reason why they're asking for that, or why we should compromise. But we need to think about what it is we're asking for either to do or not to do, and think about, where are my red lines here? What am I prepared to compromise? So we think about this before we go in and deliver the statement, because you don't want to be blindsided when they come up with a really good reason why you shouldn't do it and you haven't thought about any compromise. There's always compromise to be had. And that's why making an assertive statement and being assertive is a win-win situation. You're not trying to win at all costs. You're not trying to get your way or the highway. It's win-win. So it's always important to think about where your red lines are and how to compromise. And again, we've got some exercises to help you navigate this, to help you think about it, so that you can be prepared for a compromise. Now, the S in the mindset model of assertiveness is select the timing. And you think, oh, what does that really mean? Well, it's very important that you time your assertive statement when everything is calm in the house. You don't want to do it on the back of an argument. You don't want to do it when the kids have all just come in from school, or you've just come in from work, or your partner's just come in and the kitchen's chaotic, homework needs to be done, supper needs to be prepared. Maybe the kids have been moaning, whining all day, and you're feeling angry or ruffled. You're feeling a bit ruffled. So you don't want to do it at that. You want to do it when everything is calm, when you can carve out some calm time for yourself. And this is something you need to sit down and think about. When would be the best? When are the children coming? What are our plans for the weekend? Will we have a little bit of time just before? Maybe we have a family game night just before that, so that you can deliver this assertive statement. And remember, the more you do this, the easier it's going to become. Initially, you're going to have to think about every step and plan it. But when you feel confident that you can be assertive, you'll just be able to do this without having too much thought about it, because it will become second nature to you. And the E, or step 6 in our mindset model of assertiveness, is endure persistence and criticism. Because let me tell you, if you've always said yes to something and all of a sudden you're saying, no, I don't want to do that, or no, I'm unable to help, people are going to try and be persistent with you. They're going to try and get you to change your mind. So you have to learn some techniques and skills to actually hold your own, to hold your line, and be prepared for them to criticize you as well. And again, even through criticism, you will be able to hold that line. And we've got some exercises and techniques to help you with this. Again, these will need to be role played and rehearsed, but if you practice them, you really will find the benefit of enduring persistence. You will not be bullied. Because sometimes I say to people, how many no's do you have up your sleeve? They may say, well, I've got 3. And children are really good at this. Any of us who've had toddlers know how persistent they can be and how they can try and wear us down and get us to say yes after 20 times. But then the toddler knows if they get you on the 20th one, that's all they need to do. They need to ask you 20 times. But you need to be persistent 21 times, and then you will get what it is you want. So that is why it's really important to be able to endure persistence and criticism and to not buckle, because it's very easy to just revert to how you were. But that's telling people, yep, I can get her to change her mind, and it's not going to take too many no's, and she will do what I want to do. So we do have techniques for you to help you with that. And the last stage is turn to mindfulness techniques. This is number 7, and the T in the mindset model of assertiveness. Now, why is this important? Because if you're going to deliver an assertive statement or say no to something you usually say yes to, you are going to feel anxious. That is normal, because this is something that you haven't done before, and you're going to have all kinds of negative thoughts, worrying about what other people might think, how might they react, will there be conflict, how am I going to do this, will I be able to do it? So your stress system is triggered, your threat system goes up, and you feel awful. And you feel a little, heart racing, you might feel a little bit agitated, shaky. But mindfulness techniques, deep breathing, can actually help counteract that threat system and bring you back down to the status quo. Helps to calm you, helps your soothing system to be triggered so that you can calm yourself down. But this is something you need to learn to do when you don't need it. So you don't do this the first time when you're in the stressful situation. You practice it. You practice this soothing breathing or whatever kind of mindfulness technique works for you, so that you can access that as and when you need it. So when you're going into a stressful situation, which you will be if you're asserting yourself for the first time in a particular situation, you know that just before you go in, you can use this breathing technique. And this is also a great thing to do before going for a job interview or something really important, because it just helps to calm your system and soothe you. so that you're able to kind of put some of those anxiety feelings to bed, so to speak. So that's the mindset model of assertiveness, and we're going to be taking each one of those steps and doing a short video on each of them to help you learn to become more assertive in your family, which will help your overall levels of communication in the household, because you'll be much calmer and other people will respond accordingly to that. So we look forward to seeing you in the next 7 videos that I'm going to be doing on these. I'm going to take them one at a time and do a video on each, and then we'll kind of do a roundup video at the end to help you become more assertive. So please log on to the website www.bestepwise.co.uk. Look on the website, there's some really interesting information there which will help you in your step parenting journey, and I will be putting some forms and things in the comments so that you can go in and access those when you're planning your assertive statement and learning how to carry it out. So thank you for your company today, and I will see you in the next video.